Liquid Germal Plus is banned, so now what? So if you haven't heard, Washington State passed an act, Toxic Free Cosmetic Act, TFCA. This law applies to cosmetic products manufactured, distributed, sold, or offered for sale within or into Washington that contain restricted chemicals. This includes products sold online or at a brick and mortar store, businesses that manufacture, distribute, sell, or use cosmetic products to provide a service, example, hair salons, and Washington State must comply with this law. This is coming from ecology.wa.gov, Department of Ecology, State of Washington. Here is the list of chemicals that are banned. So formaldehyde, lead and lead compounds, mercury and mercury compounds, methylene glycol, orthophthalates, PFAS, I don't know how to pronounce that one or that one, and then triclosan. So the ones we're really looking at that affect the preservatives that we work with is formaldehyde and methylene glycol, I believe. And the preservatives that we now are no longer able to purchase. Okay, sorry, let me fix my wording there. I don't mean purchase. I mean the ones we're able to use in products that we sell specifically to Washington State. As of right now, you can still buy these preservatives and use them on yourself or sell within a different state other than Washington State, but maybe other states will follow suit. So my advice would be to, if you have a business, to probably just go ahead and stop using formaldehyde releasing ingredients. What if someone purchases from your website and they live in Washington? Then you can't even ship it to them. So, I mean, unless you block Washington State people from purchasing from you. But again, like I said, we don't know if other states will enact this. So it's better to just prepare now. Are under the names Liquid Germal Plus, Germaben 2, and then TRIstat D2. I don't know if I say that one right. I've never worked with it. Now, obviously these ingredients aren't specifically banned, but due to the ingredients inside these ingredient blends, that's why they're banned. Because the preservatives we buy and a lot of other ingredients we buy from cosmetic suppliers are actually blends of ingredients. Some of them aren't, but a lot of them are blends. And Liquid Germal Plus is a blend of propylene glycol, this ingredient, I don't know how to pronounce the other two. And it is a formaldehyde releaser preservative. And then obviously any other ingredient that falls underneath any of these categories would also be banned. But I think the one that seems to be affecting most of us home crafters is Liquid Germal Plus. If you've been following my channel for a while, and I know a lot of you guys have been, I've always over and over have recommended Liquid Germal Plus as the #1 easiest preservative to use for beginners. Teaching yourself how to formulate, it's not easy. It's fun. It can be frustrating, but it's not easy. And one of the hardest parts about formulating at home is keeping a clean environment. We're not in a lab. We're at home, and we still want to be able to make our own products. And being able to use an ingredient like Liquid Germal Plus to enable us to be able to formulate without a headache, it allows us to experiment with all kinds of different ingredients. It allows us to honestly get way more creative with formulating because it's so easy to use and you don't need to worry about the preservative system. And since our environments just aren't as sanitary as these cosmetic labs, I see so many people making cosmetics for their businesses at home. And I scratch my head and I'm like, that doesn't look like the most sanitary environment. So sometimes, actually I would say a lot of the times, home crafters probably need a stronger preservative system than bigger brands. Now, I mean, I guess this could be a nuanced conversation because preserving is so complicating because bigger brands' products probably have to have a longer shelf life. Smaller businesses seem to make more product and get them out faster and make them more often. I don't know. We could talk about this forever. The point I'm trying to get across is that preservatives are so important for home crafters. So what do we do now? What preservatives do I recommend for a beginner? I need some time to think on this, honestly. I want to do a video all about preservatives, what I recommend for each type of product. I need some time to think about this, do some experiments myself, but I mainly want to hear feedback from you guys before I execute this video. I want to know, what preservatives you have access to. Because the preservatives I have access to it's not the same for everybody else. I want to know like what preservatives you're comfortable with using. Does it need to be like naturally compliant, EcoCert? What are your criteria? Like, what are you looking for? But yeah, I want to make a video all about preservatives again. What I recommend for like liquidy solutions like toners, what I recommend for emulsions, what I recommend for surfactant systems. Because now that we can't use Liquid Germall Plus did work for all of those. But now we need a different preservative for each type of product. Toners need a preservative that mixes in water. And even though a lot of these preservatives claim to be water soluble, they don't mix in the water very well, and you'll need some kind of solubilizer to get them to mix in, which then just makes it more difficult for people trying to stay more natural or EcoCert, trying to keep minimal ingredients, because now you got to throw in a solubilizer to keep your natural preservative mixed in. So that's where these natural preservatives get harder to formulate with. They have pH drifts. They don't mix in the water very well. They destabilize emulsions. There's just so many different headaches these preservatives throw at you. So yeah, the tricky part with a toner is trying to find a preservative that mixes into water and doesn't separate. Liquid Germall Plus used to do that. When it comes to making a moisturizer, you need to find a preservative that doesn't destabilize the emulsion. And not only that, it's active in that pH level. The pH doesn't drift. And then when it comes to surfactant systems, you need to find a preservative that works with ethoxylated surfactants, because Euxyl PE 9010 doesn't. So that one could cause you headaches. So comment down below. Let me know what you want to see in this preservative video before I make it, so I cover all the topics you guys want to hear about. All right. Talk to you later. Also, don't forget to go over and check out my Patreon, where I post 2 exclusive videos every single month. So there is a ton of videos you can go over there and binge watch. For only $5 a month, you get access to the entire backlog. And for $10 a month, you can get a shout out for your small business. So let's shout everybody out. naturesfarmgirl.com, Let's Blend LLC, at Stardust Bath and Body on Instagram, hempygirl.com, shoplevis.com, Owl and Lily on Etsy, embracebeautyessentials.com, Legendary Bath and Body, Astari Apothecary, Reviga Cosmetics here on YouTube, exorebb.com, pardonaturals.com, Natural State Skin, thenatureandus.ca, nearcatalier.com, use the code on the screen for 20% off, earthandambernaturals.com, Shark City Naturals, Day to Relax Spa, Crowned Glory LLC, LH Scented Soaps and more, Janae Rose, Health Nut Beauty on Etsy, velvettemptations.com, Journey Rose Beauty, chrbrands.com, Homestead Life Goods on Etsy, NellaBathAndBody.com, Madhouse Mama Soaps, xpo.com, Mystical Morning on Etsy, and the rest of these brands haven't launched yet. SkinByDevu.com, Seventh House and Oak on Etsy, at Black Petal Beauty on Instagram, and mycrownandglowery.com. Thank you guys so much for your support. Literally, without you guys on the Patreon, I wouldn't be able to continue doing what I do. So thank you so much.